Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. Good evening. Okay, so we'll start definite integrals,
Okay.
and these are the first three problems. So just try it out.
Sir, can you teach from some basic stuff? Like this is too difficult for me right now.
Either think of it as a normal integral. What would you do if you have the first integral? The main property that you need to know is integral of a to b f of x dx is same as integral of a to b f of a plus b minus x dx. This
Okay.
property do you know
Yes, sir.
for definite integrals?
Yes, sir.
This can be proved by taking a plus b minus x as t, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what I'm saying? This property.
Yes, sir. I have read it as a formula in the book.
You have to prove it also. You need to know how to prove this. You can say a plus b minus x is t in the second integral.
Yes, sir.
So what will happen? Minus dx is dt, right?
Yes, sir.
This will become f of t and dx will become minus dt. So it is becoming f of t minus dt. And
Yes.
limits will also change because this was limit with x, but now it is limit with t, right?
Yes, sir.
When x is equal to a, what is the limit here? T is becoming what if x is equal to a?
F of B dt.
Not f of b, it is b, right?
Acha, limit. Okay, okay. It is B. Yes, yes.
When x is equal to b, what is the limit, upper limit?
A.
So t is becoming a, and inside now you're writing f of t minus dt. And the minus sign will reverse the order of the limits. It will become integral of a to b f of t dt, right? Which is the same thing as this.
Yes, sir.
So that is one important property. There are some other properties that you might see in typical normal books, calculus
Yes.
textbooks. You will see all of these properties. Different properties are there for definite integrals. Now
Yeah.
you have to apply those properties here, or if you can't apply it, just find the integral. Can you find an indefinite integral? There is not a big difference if you have to find 0 to 1 in this integral, right?
Okay, sir. I'll try. Sir, actually, the thing is, I haven't touched this integral part.
Hmm.
I was doing more of algebra, polynomials, and differentiation. So that
Do
is
you
why I
have
haven't
any?
practiced it enough.
Okay.
I can, when in your classes, I can understand what is going on and I can do it again as a homework. Like I tried to solve that again, the classwork.
Hmm.
Then I can do, but any operations in the middle, I really find it difficult to understand or to find the approach of the problem right now.
See, you have to go through the textbook in order to get it. Like you have to see the properties and understand the properties, then only you will get it. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
you need to look at it. Uh, somebody else has also joined, I think.
Good
Yeah,
evening,
so
sir.
yeah, good evening. Okay, we are going to discuss definite integrals. Have you seen the properties of definite integrals? From the Allen book that I sent you, have you seen?
Yeah.
Do you know the properties, understand what is happening, the proofs and all?
The proof part was quite hard, but I understood like the result we get.
Proof part was quite hard, मतलब समझ में नहीं है. कौन कौन सा properties के proof समझ में नहीं है? Like, what properties do you know? Tell me. Can you hear me, Yashwant? Hello.
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm waiting for him to say, because then if he also doesn't know, then I can talk about some of the properties. Maybe you will understand then after that, right?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Hello, Yashwant, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There is an internet glitch from my side.
Okay, tell me what properties do you know about definite integrals? What are the different properties you have seen?
The first one is the finding definite integration by limits, and which I didn't understood that like limits part.
That is definite integral as the limit of a sum.
Yeah,
That is not the first one, that is the last thing in the chapter. ये first है तुम्हारे. This is the first thing that you saw.
I'm using two the books like Singage and this Ellen part.
तो Cengage में ये first चीज है.
Yeah,
So you didn't understand what is happening here.
yeah.
Okay, Sikandar, do you understand this?
Sir,
Definite integral as the limit of a sum.
no, sir, it was in the book, but I haven't gone through it.
Okay. Okay, so we'll discuss it then. 1 second, hold on. I think someone else is also joining. Okay, so the idea is this. Suppose I want to find the area under the curve y is equal to x square from 0 to 2, right? Is
Yes,
everyone understanding what I'm saying right now?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So area under this curve, the way you are supposed to figure out, you have been told that you have to calculate the integral from 0 to 2 x square dx, right?
Yes,
Correct?
sir.
But right now you are just believing it. You have not proved it, right? You are just taking it on a faith basis. किसी ने तुमको प्रूव करके नहीं दिखाया है ये कि 8/3 आएगा?
Sir,
Do you understand how it comes as 8/3?
yes, sir, we can divide this area in small rectangles like something
Ye-
and then take the
Yes.
limit.
Yes, sir.
But have you done it yourself once also and seen whether it is coming
Sir,
correctly or not?
I saw this on a YouTube video, that three blue, one brown channel.
That's fine, but that's great. Tribu one bound is very nice, but do you know how to do it yourself? खुद से. अभी मैं बोलूं कि डिराइव करके दिखाओ और नोटबुक पे डिराइव करो और 8/3
Yes, sir, I
लाओ.
have done it. Let me check. Give me a second.
Yashwant, do you know how to do it?
Yeah, the same like rectangle part.
तो क्या करना है बताओ.
Sir, can
We
I
have to
send you
take
a
small
picture?
dx with
हाँ ठीक है, if you know it, great. Just listen to the discussion. Otherwise, we'll discuss it right now. Tell me, Yashwant.
yes, sir. We have to take small dx like things, and we have to take small rectangles, and then we have to calculate its area.
Hmm. So many small rectangles, right?
Yeah.
So how do we set it up now? We can say that from 0 to 2, I am dividing it into, let's say, n rectangles, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so this length is there, 0, and this is 2. If I
Yes,
need
sir.
n rectangles, this is my first marking. That should be at 2 by n, right?
So
And the second marking will be at 4 by n and all. And this marking will be at 2 into n minus 1 by n, right?
yes,
Correct?
sir. Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
You're dividing the whole length by n part.
Hmm. These are widths, right?
Yeah.
So you can say that the location of these markings are at x is equal to 2I by n, where I goes from 0 to n minus 1, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
These are the locations of my different points, right?
Yeah.
Now, what I want to do here is basically at each of these points, let's say this is 2 by n, this is 4 by n, this is whatever by n, 2I by n, and this is 2I plus 1 by n, and so on till the last one will go. What I will make is I will make rectangles here like this, okay,
Yes, sir.
correct? So my this rectangle starts at x is equal to 2I by n and goes up to 2I plus 1 by n, right? So that the width here is still 2 by n, correct?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah. Width of every rectangle is 2 by n.
Uh, so the height of this rectangle would be, there could be, this height is the height, right? This is this first endpoint ka function value is the height, f of 2 by n, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand? F of
Yes,
2
sir.
by n is the height.
Yes, sir.
Area of the rectangle is 2I by n, which is width, multiplied by f of 2I by n, right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is the area of my this rectangle. I have n such rectangles, right?
Yeah.
So sum over the area where I goes from 0 to n minus 1 is an estimate of my area under the curve, right? Why is
Yes,
it
sir.
an estimate? It is not an accurate area. It is an estimate because you can notice some area is left behind, no, a gap, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can you see that it is not accurate? It is an estimate.
Yes, sir.
Great. So f function क्या था? X square था. So it will become 2I by n whole square multiplied by 2I by n. So basically it is 8I cube by n cube. And this is the summation I goes from 0 to n minus 1, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes,
This
sir.
is an estimate of our area. This sum. So let's calculate the sum. This is a pretty easy summation. You can do 8 by n cube is not part of the summation. Only I is part of the summation, right? And you can say I goes from 0 to n minus 1. What is I cube? Everyone knows how to do this summation.
Yes, sir.
So it's a formula, right? First n cubes, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But this time it is not n cubes, it's actually n minus 1 cubes, right? First n minus 1 cubes. Because it starts from 0. 0 ka value 0 hoga, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it will be 1 cube plus 2 cube till n minus 1 cube. So it will become n minus 1 into n plus n plus, the formula is n into n plus 1 by 2 whole square, right?
Sir, n into n minus 1, I guess.
No, it is n into n plus 1 by 2 whole square is the formula in general. Now
No, n
now I'm
minus
going to
1.
put n minus 1 for n, right?
Okay, 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 sir.
This is the general formula, right? In for n sum of first n cubes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But this time, do I have first n cubes or n minus 1 cubes?
N minus 1.
So instead of n, I'll put n minus 1, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
N minus 1 and n minus 1 plus 1 becomes n by 2 whole square. This is the answer that comes from this summation, right?
Yes, sir.
So this becomes a 4. 4 cancels this. So it becomes 2 by n cube. And you have n square, n minus 1 squared, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct, no?
Yes, sir.
And this is becoming basically 2 by n square minus 2n plus 1, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Now, what we have to do, I feel like I made some mistake somewhere. Have I made a mistake? Area of each width was this, f value was this. And we are adding up the areas. I square, I cube, 8 by n cube, I cube, okay? So I am getting right now, after adding, the sum of the areas is coming out to be this, which is basically 2n I feel like I made a mistake in some place.
You have written I one more I said 2I by n said that I on comes sir. And the width is 2 by n na.
Oh, हाँ, yeah, that is the mistake. 2 by n width है ना, 2i by n थोड़े है, right? Correct.
Yes.
ये सबको नोटिस करना चाहिए था ना, कोई कुछ बोल ही नहीं रहे, सब यस सर बोलते जा रहे हो, किसी को समझ में नहीं आया था ये अभी तक? हाँ,
सर नोटिस नहीं किया.
मतलब कुछ भी कोई बोलते जाएगा तो तुम मानते चलोगे सब लोग. Everyone is like calmly saying yes sir. I only have to realize that there is a mistake. Okay. It is clearly wrong. It will be 2 by n into this. So my thing is a little wrong. It will be 8 by n cube or I square summation, right?
Yes, sir.
So I am getting 8 by n cube summation. I goes from 0 to n minus 1 I square, which becomes n minus n plus 1 to n plus 1 by 6. So n minus 1 n 2n minus 1 minus 2 plus 1. So 2n minus 1 by 6, right?
Yes.
And outside is 8 by n cube. Now it is coming correct. This is my area of the n squares, n rectangles, right? So now notice that it is coming 4 by 3 term is at least coming, right? 4 by 3 and n cube is there. So one n gets cancelled here. And you have n square here, and on top you have n minus 1, 2n minus 1 by n square, right? Is everyone understanding what we have gotten so far?
Yes, sir.
So we have divided the y is equal to x square curve into n rectangles, and we have found the area of each of these rectangles, right? But we know that this is not an accurate representation of the area. The accurate representation of the area would come if you take limit n tends to infinity of this expression, right?
Yes,
Because
sir.
if you take limit n tends to infinity, then the number of rectangles keeps increasing, right?
Yeah.
If the number of rectangles is very large, then the width becomes really small, and then you will realize that the error becomes really small, right?
Yes, sir.
Is everyone following why this is going to give you the area, accurate area? Whereas
Because
this
sir
one,
more rectangles will come sir.
more rectangles, the more rectangles you make, the better your approximation, right?
Yes, sir.
If you
The
made
error-
only,
Error
what?
tends to 0. Error tends to 0.
If you take only 2 rectangles, for example, there is such a big error, right? This much error, this much and this much and this much, right? However, if you take 200 rectangles, it will be much better, no?
Yes, sir.
So now take the limit here, limit n tends to infinity of an. That becomes basically, you can divide by n square and write it like this, 4 by 3, 1 minus 1 by n, and 2 minus 1 by n, right? And when you put limit n tends to infinity in this, you will get 8 by 3. Yashwant, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah, sir. But they were using like functions like e to the power x and other root functions also.
E to the power x, where were they using?
They were trying to show the proof of that also, and it was like hard to understand the stuff, and even the sin x and the 1 by root x.
When we did this question, was it very difficult to, was the function part difficult? Like, what is the difficulty in the function part? I could have taken a random function here, right?
Yeah.
Function part is just telling you the height of the rectangle, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
मतलब उससे क्या मुश्किल है? यहाँ पे width was 2 by n, area was 2 by n times f of 2i by n, right?
Yes, sir.
If you do this, summation I goes from 0 to n minus 1, this will give you basically limit n tends to infinity area under the f. If the f is different, the function and the summation will be different, but conceptually तो same ही चीज है ना?
Yes, sir.
समझ में आ रहा है मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ?
Yes, sir.
समेशन करने में भले मुश्किल हो, लेकिन कॉन्सेप्ट में क्या है मुश्किल?
हाँ सर, ठीक ही है सर।
Function is just telling us the height of the rectangle, right? I hope
Yes, sir.
everybody is understanding what I'm saying. If you have a to b fx dx, this process, the definite integral that you have calculated, can be written as summation of and limit n tends to infinity, and let's say r goes from some value a by n. You can say this is going to be summation n tends to infinity f of r by n 1 by n, and r is varying. R is varying, and the values of r by n values will tend to a as n tends to infinity, and r by n values will also tend to b. Lower limit will be starting from a, upper limit will be starting from b. The idea is this 1 by n becomes your width of the rectangle, f of 1 r by n becomes the height of the rectangle. So 1 by n will take the place of your dx in the integral. R by n takes the place of your x. Okay?
Yeah.
And the limiting value a and b should come as the value of r by n as n tends to infinity. Because r का value start होता है some 0 to n minus 1, right? This r is the thing that was I in our previous example. I was starting from 0 to n minus 1, right?
Yes, sir.
So we can say that I by n will go from 0 by n minus 1 to basically, no, I by n will go from 0 to by n to n minus 1 by n, right? Correct? In the previous example, the summation of I was going from 0 to n minus 1.
Yes, sir.
So I by n value will go from 0 by n to n minus 1 by n, right?
Yes, sir.
So you have to
सही है
take
सर।
this limit values of this limit as n tends to infinity of this. So this will be 0 only and this will be 1. Okay? So the
Okay, sir.
integral will be from 0 to 1. Anyway, we'll see questions where this has to be done. But I hope, Yashwant, you are understanding the basics of what is happening. When we
Yeah.
do more questions, you will get familiar with it. What are the other properties that you are not understood in the chapter?
तो वो अपर लिमिट और लोअर लिमिट कैसे आया सर, वो एक बार बोलिए सर। आर बाय एन मतलब
The idea is simple. See, you have 1 by n f of r by n. इस टाइप का तुमको जब दिखा, wait, I'll write it in a different way. Suppose you have a summation and a limit. Limit n tends to infinity, summation over some r, r goes from, let's say, 0 to n, right? And this was some function of r by n, okay? And there was a 1 by n also, okay?
Sir.
If this type of situation is happening, you are saying you are multiplying f of r by n. You have to think of r by n as your x variable, 1 by n as your dx, because 1 by n becomes the width of the rectangle, f of r by n is the height of the rectangle, and r by n is
Yes.
your input x. So when you convert to an integral, you have to say f of r by n is x, f of x, 1 by n is dx. But how to put the limits now? The limits will come when you take values of r by n, where
Oh, sir,
r
varies
goes
from
from
uh, uh,
0 to n when n tends to infinity. So if r goes from 0 to n, r by n is going from 0 by n to n by n, right? You also have to
Yes, sir.
take n tends to infinity here. So it will be 0 to 1 as n tends to infinity. But it could be different in different situations. Always it is values of r by n will give us the lower limit and the upper limit. In this case, it is 0 to n. It could start from somewhere else, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct? Values of r by n will give you the limit when n tends to infinity. You will learn it only by solving questions.
Yes, sir. Sir, if you don't mind, I have done it in a different way. I have sent a photo on group. Like in this, I have taken h tends to infinity, like the width of the rectangle. Oh, sorry, h tend to 0. The
It's
width
the
of the
same
rectangle
way.
tending to 0.
It's just writing it in a different way. It's the same thing actually. Oh wait, you have done something else.
Yes, sir, I have done something else. And I feel it is better to understand integrals in a differential form, like
Ax be the area of
area
f of
function. I have assumed a function, area function.
ax plus h minus ax. How did you get this first inequality?
Sir, the area till x is h times f of x, and area till x plus h, it is a of x plus h minus a of x. Like I have taken the upper area, like area till x plus h minus area till x. So I will get the middle area.
Your
And
width
it will
is
be less
h.
than, it will be greater than that area and less than that area.
Your width is h.
Yes.
You are saying the upper area, if you take the right endpoint, if you take right endpoint, you will get h times f of x plus h. And if you take left endpoint,
Yes, sir.
you will get h
X
times f
times.
of x.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's correct. F of x will be less than equal to this. Okay. Limit h tends to 0. That is a dash x. F limit h tends to 0. F of x is less than this. F is than dA by dx. So this is f of x. Ah, that's fine. But it is better to understand it from an actual area calculation. This is not an actual area calculation you have done, right?
Yes, sir. This is a proof of integral in other way.
So this is not the best way to understand the concept, because this doesn't show you how to actually find the area. This is just a trick to get the formula of definite integral.
Okay, sir.
You understand? This is just saying that how to show that f of x integral a to b f of x is equal to definite integral, right? Is equal to area of the function.
Yes, sir.
This is fundamental theorem of calculus. How is it what we are doing?
Okay, we are computing actual area, like approximating.
This is telling us that definite integral means area under curve.
Okay, okay, okay.
ये fundamental theorem of calculus है ना ये.
Yes, sir.
तो ये actual area निकालने का process है क्या ये?
No, sir.
हाँ. एरिया निकालने का ये प्रोसेस नहीं है. हम लोग समेशन लिमिट ऑफ अ सम को डेफिनेट इंटेग्रल प्रूव कर रहे हैं. तुम्हारा लिमिट ऑफ अ सम कहाँ है यहाँ पे? कहीं नहीं है उसमें. right?
Yes, sir.
अभी क्वेश्चन क्या था उसका कि लिमिट ऑफ अ सम, हाउ इज इट कमिंग इन एज एन इंटेग्रल, राइट?
Yes, sir.
That is what we are trying to do, no, right now. What you are doing is showing that a definite integral is actually the area under the curve.
Okay, sir.
Do you understand the difference?
Yes, sir. I am understanding. It is kind of a proof that if we have to prove, then we can use this. But in terms of approximation, like calculating real area.
It is a proof that definite integral gives us the area under the curve. It is not a proof of how a limit and a sum, a summation
Okay.
is equal to the same area.
Okay, sir.
Do you understand what I'm saying
Yes, sir,
right
I
now?
understood.
Okay, Yashwant, what else have you learned in the chapter that you did not understand?
The Leibniz rule.
This one, differentiation under integration.
Sir, like I had a doubt, like if g of x equals to integration of f of x, then g dash x should be equal to f of x, right?
If g of x is equal to integral of f of x, then yes, g dash x is equal to f of x, correct?
Then why in this case we have different formula?
यहाँ पे लिमिट डाले थे क्या?
No.
अभी ये जो है, does everyone understand this differentiation under integration, this part, Leibniz rule? Everyone else? सौरभ, तुमको समझ में आता है ये क्या पूछ रहा है यशवंत?
सर और बोलिए क्या पूछना चाहते हो?
तुमको समझ में आता है इसको डिफरेंशिएट कैसे करना है, इस एक्सप्रेशन को? इस एक्सप्रेशन का डेरिवेटिव
सर
चाहिए
ऐसा,
विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू एक्स,
हाँ हाँ हाँ,
पता है कैसे करना है?
तो सर ऐसे क्या मतलब, पहले तो सर उसको इंटीग्रेट करेगा ना सर, वो
नहीं
अंदर वाले एफ टी डी टी।
नहीं, इस एक्सप्रेशन का डेरिवेटिव चाहिए। तुम इसको पहले इंटीग्रेट करोगे डेरिवेटिव निकालने के लिए।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, सॉरी सॉरी, पहले इंटीग्रेट नहीं सर।
इस टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन देखा है तुमने कभी? ऐसा क्वेश्चन जैसे देखो,
हाँ सर, हाँ
एफ ऑफ टी
हाँ,
डी टी।
इस टॉपिक को मैंने, हाँ सर छोड़ दिया था सर स्कूल एक्चुअली।
ओके फाइन, हु एल्स? Shreesh, you must know this, right?
Yes, sir. So it is h dash of x into f of h of x minus g dash of x into f of g of x.
F of h of x multiplied by h dash x minus
Yes, sir.
f of g of x multiplied by g dash x. Yashwant, this is the formula that you have seen, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else who doesn't understand it? Okay, Sikandar, do you understand this?
Yes, sir.
ये पता है कैसे आ रहा है?
Yes, sir. We have applied chain rule here.
Chain rule. Okay, we'll see. Huh, possibly. So the idea is this: f of t dt, h of x, gx. First of all, think about it. अगर मान लो ऐसा इंटेग्रल होता बस, right? This integral, it would have come out as a function of what variable?
In terms of t.
In terms of
So
t.
it would have come in terms of some t, right? Some, let's call it a d, or not d, p of t, let's say, right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
it would have come as a p of t plus c, right?
Yes, sir.
But when we put the limits, you know, definite integrals, when you put the limits, what will happen now? If you put the limits like this, h of x and g of x, what will happen?
Sir, the constant gets cancelled.
That's true, but what happens to the function? What will you do there?
Sir,
So it will change as the t will be substituted as x.
yes, sir.
Not x. Why x?
G of x and h of
H
x.
of x and g of x, no.
Yes sir, h of x and gx, yes.
x नहीं डालना है, समझ
नहीं
रहे हो
सर,
ना?
नहीं सर, वो अपर लिमिट और
सर, वो limits डालना है।
लोअर लिमिट टी के जाएगा डालना है।
हाँ।
हाँ हाँ
अपर लिमिट और लोअर लिमिट डालना है t की जगह पे. यशवंत, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So finally, this integral should have become what? P of h of x minus P of g of x, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And right now, what do you know here? We have assumed that integral of f is p, right? Correct?
Yeah.
So you already know that p dash t is equal to f of t, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
तो अब इसको डिफरेंशिएट करोगे तो कौन से वेरिएबल के टर्म्स में डिफरेंशिएट कर सकते हैं इसको?
X.
हाँ, if somebody says d by dt of this, what do you think the answer will be?
Sir,
So पूरे t में
जीरो
आएगा.
जीरो
f of, sir,
It
f
will
of
be zero.
hx
जीरो
minus
सर.
f of gx.
It will be zero completely because there is nothing in t here.
Yes, sir. Anything will be treated as constant over there if the variable is t.
Correct. समझ में आ रहा है सबको?
Yes, sir.
Because right now after integration it is coming as a function of x की a function of t? Function of x, right?
Yes, sir.
So therefore we can do derivative with respect to x, not with respect to any other variable, right?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to do derivative of with respect to x. It's pretty simple, no? Derivative करने आता है सबको?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So it will be p dash h of x by chain rule and then h dash x, right?
Yes, sir.
Minus it will be p dash q of g of x and then g dash x, right?
Yes, sir.
What is p dash t?
F of
It is-
t.
So what will be p dash h of x?
F of h of x.
Yashwant, are you understanding?
Yeah.
Similarly, p dash g of x will be f of g of x, right? This is the formula that you are confused by, correct?
Yes, sir.
It is very simple. You are differentiating the final thing that comes after integrating and putting the limits, right? The
Acha.
final thing that comes out is is a function of x. You are differentiating it properly by chain rule. You are putting the fact that p dash h of x is same as f of t. So p dash h of x should be f of h of x, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Finally, when you have to integrate a particular question, you will say all you have to do is put the upper limit here instead of t and differentiate the upper limit, minus put the lower limit instead of t and differentiate the lower limit, right?
Yes, sir.
I hope everybody is understanding. Every year questions come in IIT, in JEE at least, based on this idea. So it is super important, you cannot skip it. Okay? Many times you will see questions like this: sin t dt, x to x square, find dy dx. What will I do here? I will say put the upper limit in this function sin x square, differentiate the upper limit 2x, minus put the lower limit here and differentiate the lower limit. This is the answer: 2x sin x square minus sin x.
Acha.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what else? What else are any other thing that was difficult in the chapter?
Like, sir, for the definite integration by infinite series.
Infinite series. What is definite integration by infinite series?
Like in the WhatsApp also it was given, right? वो infinity तक जा रहा है.
कौन सा infinite तक जा रहा है? क्या चीज? वो somebody has sent that question of this tower of integrals.
Yeah, yeah.
That is not a concept, dude. Is that a concept in the Allen book you have seen? That is not a
डबल
concept.
वेरिएबल
No.
वाला क्वेश्चन सर.
Hmm.
वो सर एक डबल वेरिएबल वाला क्वेश्चन होता है ना सर, जिसमें एक को और एक के टर्म में डिफाइन करके उसके बाद लिमिट निकाल, सॉरी डेफिनेट इंटीग्रल्स का रूल यूज करना है ना सर. उसमें दिक्कत हो रही है उस टाइप के क्वेश्चन में सर।
मतलब क्या रिडक्शन फॉर्मूला
हाँ
उस टाइप का क्वेश्चन? कौन सा क्वेश्चन बताओ, किस टाइप का?
ये जैसे आपको एक भेजा है ना सर, जैसे देखिए सर एक बार, जो वो, हाँ
That is
IMN बोल के है सर।
that question that you have sent is an application of beta and gamma functions. We'll do it later. Right now is not the time to discuss it. You have to
सर
understand some.
PIQ सर, हाँ
I know it is PIQs, but you need to know about beta and gamma functions to do it easily. You cannot do it in a 3-minute JE exam if you don't know about this. So right now is not
वो
the
तो
time
नहीं
to
है सर
discuss
बेटा
it. So we'll discuss it later when we
ठीक है
have
सर।
covered the normal types of questions. But Yashwant, that question that was shared in the group, I don't think it is correct because I think the integral is infinite. I don't think it is valid. So, and that is just a question. I'm not talking about particular questions.
No, sir, it was in the Singlish also. It's like infinite series going on.
Show me the picture. Send me on WhatsApp what you are saying.
So in that question, left hand side was like divergent and right side was convergent. Why not?
That doesn't make sense, I think.
Yes,
Right side is a finite number because you can always find the value of that thing, right?
yes,
This thing का value कोई भी निकाल सकता है. इसको मान लो x, तो you can say x is equal to 2 plus 1 by x, right? In that question, you can find the right hand side very easily. Left hand side is going to infinity. The limits are 1 to infinity or something, right?
So
Yes, sir.
also we are sure that RHS is between 2 to 3. So it's
So it doesn't make sense. So you should forget about it, I think. I think this might be some nice function, but x square is equal to 2 plus 2x plus 1. X square minus 2x minus 1. Okay. Okay, it's not some nice number, but fine. Okay. So the point is, I want to see whether all of you are understanding the basic properties of definite integrals or not. Is everyone familiar with the standard properties? How to apply the properties of definite integral?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is a property for this type of integral? Tell me. How to split this? You want to convert the limits from 0 to 2a to 0 to a. What should I do?
So can you repeat the question?
Sir,
This is my definite integral.
A and A to 2A.
Sir,
that is obvious. That is not what I mean though. A to 2 ये तो सही है तुम जो बोल रहे हो, लेकिन इसके अलावा एक दूसरा भी कुछ कर सकते हैं यहाँ पे.
सर आई
if
थिंक इवन ऑड फंक्शन का कुछ है इसमें, लाइक इवन होता है तो 2 into 0 to a हो जाता है शायद.
sir, if f of 2a minus x
Yes.
is f of x, then we just put out the 2 outside the integer and the
Yes.
limit half, right?
0 to a f of x.
F of 2a minus x is minus f of x, then the integral value is 0.
So the reason you are saying is it will be split like this: 0 to a f of x plus 0 to a f of 2a minus x, right?
Yes.
Do you understand why it can be done? Why this is correct?
So due to shifting property,
कैसे? रुको, तुम मत बताओ, बाकी लोगों को नहीं आता हो ये चीज. बाकी लोगों को समझ में आ रहा है कैसे हो रहा है ये?
No,
Sir,
sir.
f of 2a minus x f of x है तो ये तो 2 times हो जाएगा ना
नहीं,
obviously.
वो तुम भूल जाओ, वो तो फाइनल कंक्लूजन है ना, वो तो बाद में आएगा ना, जब इफ इट वाज ट्रू. बट दिस इज ट्रू ऑलवेज, व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, दिस थिंग. डज एनी apart from Shrish, can you explain why this is true?
Sir, we can take 2a minus x equals to t.
Okay, what will happen then?
And minus dx equals to dt. And then we
Okay.
can change the variable. Sir, you
So
told,
here it
like
will
just like you
become
told me in the beginning that it will reverse the minus dt.
correct. It will become ft. यहाँ पे dx था, so
Minus
dx will
dt.
become minus dt, right?
Yes, sir.
What will happen to the limits here?
Sir, it will, sir, switch upper and lower limit.
No, tell me the exact upper and lower limit right now, according to your substitution. You have put this substitution, right? What is your lower limit and upper limit now?
On limit is 2a, sir,
Which limit? Upper limit ki lower
and
limit?
upper. Lower.
Lower limit is 2a
Hmm.
because when x was 0, your t would be what?
2a.
When x is a,
Upper
what
limit
is
is
your-
a.
So you are getting this, right?
Sir, please explain this again. Like,
तो इसमें क्या explanation है? तुमने substitution लिया है कि नहीं?
yes, sir,
क्या substitution था तुम्हारा?
2a minus x equals to t.
तो अब वेरिएबल यहाँ पे dx था और अब तुम्हारा वेरिएबल dt है, t है वेरिएबल, तो t के लिमिट्स आने चाहिए ना?
अच्छा, okay, sir, got it.
When x was 0, what is your t value?
2a.
When x is a, what is your t value?
A.
वही लिख रहे हैं.
Okay, sir, got it.
Yashwant, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So by doing this, what we have gotten is this integral, right? You can take the minus sign and reverse the limits here, right?
Yeah.
So you can write it as a to 2a f of t dt, right?
Yes, sir.
And you don't need to touch this at all. You can keep it like this, 0 to a. You know that changing the variable doesn't change anything, right? Like changing the variable as in, instead of writing this integral as f of x dx, I can write it as f of t dt, no? Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We
Because
cannot write.
ultimately both are the same area, no? ये f of t बोलो या x बोलो जो भी, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what you're getting is this thing is getting converted to this, and this plus this is obviously, you had only said, no, it is 0 to 2a f of t. Right?
Yes.
Earlier when I asked you first, this is what you had split it like, no? 0 to a and a to 2a, right?
Oh, yeah. So is this the proof of it?
Yeah. This is the proof of what? This is the proof of this identity. 0 to 2a f of x dx is equal to 0 to a f of x dx plus 0 to a f of 2a minus x dx. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We have just now shown that this is actually same as a to 2a f of x dx.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
So obviously then that should be true, no? Okay. If everybody is familiar with the properties, then we'll go to the questions. I want you guys to start doing the PYQs. There are many nice questions in the JEE PYQs of the previous years. If you look at the definite integral chapter, for example, we'll start with one of them. Let's see this one. Try this one, everyone. Find the value of this.
Sir, it was 50. We have done already.
ये कर चुके हैं पहले.
हाँ सर ग्रुप पे आया था ना.
Okay. Oh, हाँ, somebody has shared this on the group, right?
Yes sir.
Does everyone know how to do it though? सबको
Sir,
पता है
it
क्या
seems
करना है?
like new to me.
Whoever doesn't know how to do it can try it. Oh, you are saying explain it to me, huh?
Yeah.
So what will we do? See, the top part, I can even leave the top part for now and work on the bottom part, okay? You can choose which one you want to work on. Can you see here? I can take tan 49x common.
Yes,
Right?
sir.
And what will it be? 1 plus tan square x, right?
Yes, sir.
So that is sec square x dx, no?
Yes, sir.
Great. So यहाँ नीचे वाला इंटेग्रल ऐसा लग रहा है, करेक्ट?
Yes, sir.
तो नीचे वाले इंटेग्रल को अगर थोड़ा ध्यान से तुम देखोगे तो कैन यू थिंक ऑफ व्हाट मेथड यू विल यूज टू इंटीग्रेट दिस?
That formula of e to the power x f of x plus f dash x.
नो, एफ ऑफ एक्स प्लस एफ डैश एक्स कहाँ पे आ रहा है? देखो, योर इंटेग्रल इज 0 टू पाई बाय 4 e पावर माइनस एक्स tan पावर 49x एंड sec स्क्वायर x dx. यहाँ पे एफ ऑफ एक्स प्लस एफ डैश एक्स
By
कैसे आ रहा है?
parts.
So we can use U substitution and by integration by parts.
हाँ, we can use by parts. That is the only way to do it
So
properly.
simply by parts कर दे,
हाँ, वही बोल रहा हूँ, by
by
parts.
parts कर दे, हाँ.
कौन से फंक्शन को सेकंड फंक्शन लोगे?
E to the
Sir, ex को first function है, second function t to the power 49 and sec square x.
हाँ, what is the reason? क्यों ऐसा बोल रहे हो?
Because sir,
क्योंकि
a to the power x का डिफरेंशिएशन इजी होता है और उसका इंटीग्रेशन इजी होता है.
इसका इंटीग्रेशन आराम से हो जाएगा, और सेकंड रीजन भी है. सेकंड रीजन ये है कि इसमें पावर 50 देखो है ना, ऊपर में
हाँ,
tan
हाँ,
50 का
बिल्कुल
एक
सर.
टर्म है ना, अगर इसको इंटीग्रेट करोगे तो tan 50 हो जाएगा ना.
yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Is everyone understanding what I'm saying? It will be nice if we can convert it and make it look like the integral on top, right?
हाँ हाँ सर, समझ गया मैं. हाँ.
Okay, so we will take this as the first function, this as the second function. By parts, when we do, we'll write the first function as it is. Integrate this, it will be simply tan power 50x by 50, right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Evaluated from 0 to pi by 4 minus, now derivative of e power minus x will be minus e power minus x, and this will be tan power 50x by 50, right? 0 to pi by 4. Correct?
Yes, sir.
The value of this integral will come out to be basically e power minus pi by 4, and this will be 1 by 50.
So we can say both like numerator and denominator are same, right? If we take 50 common.
हाँ, वही फाइनली वही होगा, लेकिन first we have to simplify one step by step, right? This minus 0 minus minus, this becomes plus 1 by 50, and e power minus x tan power 50x dx 0 to pi by 4, and we can see clearly 1 by 50 common loge, so it is matching the numerator, right? So 1 by 50 is common in the denominator and everything else is matching, so it gets cancelled and answer is 50, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the idea is pretty simple. You can do by parts in the denominator and make it look like the numerator. That's why it is important to choose the correct second function and correct first function, right?
Sure.
Correct?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, we will do more problems, but please revise your definite integrals, revise everything and come. Revise all the properties. We'll do a lot of problems from next class. And please be on time also. 7 PM की class है, 7:15 से थोड़े है. Right? Everyone else who was missing.
सर जूम थोड़ा सा ग्लिच करता है सर, इसलिए मतलब 10-15 मिनट्स प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है सर.
10-15 minutes तुम्हारा
इससे-
Zoom glitch करते रहता है.
मतलब एकदम फ्रीज हो जाता है मतलब.
हम्म.
हाँ, रोज होता है सर. तो सर आप थोड़ा लिंक पहले भेज दीजिएगा, मतलब 6:45.
Okay, fine. Please revise everything. We'll be starting problems from tomorrow. Yashwant, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Go through the properties, find out the properties that you didn't understand. If you have not understood something, you can share it with me. We'll discuss it in class. And from tomorrow, it will be problems. At least 3-4 classes we'll do of just problems. Okay. So after that, it should be over this chapter. Okay. That's
sir.
all for now. I'll see you tomorrow evening. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you, sir.